All right, let's talk about one of the coolest things happening in tech right now, AI agents. We're going to demystify the whole thing, jumping right into what they are and, believe it or not, how you can build one without any coding wizardry. So let's get into it.
So let me just start with a question. What if you could build your very own personal AI assistant? Something that's perfectly tailored to do exactly what you need it to do, and you wouldn't have to write a single line of code. I know, it sounds like something out of a movie, right? But it's way more accessible than you probably think.
Because, yeah, it's totally possible. And today, that's exactly what we're doing. We're going to break down what an AI agent is into really simple, easy-to-understand parts. And I promise, by the end of this, you'll have the complete recipe to start designing your own digital assistant.
Okay, first up, the anatomy of an AI agent. And here's the thing. Every single agent, doesn't matter if it's super simple or incredibly complex, is built from the exact same fundamental pieces. So let's look at the 6 core components that make up pretty much any agent out there.
So first things first, what is an AI agent really? Well, at its core, it's just a piece of software that uses AI to go after goals and get tasks done for you. The best way to think about it, honestly, it's like a digital employee. You can hire it for a super specific job, maybe a research assistant or someone to schedule your meetings. All right, so how do we actually build this digital employee? Well, it all comes down to 6 key building blocks. First, you've got the model, that's the brain, like a GPT-4 or a Claude. Then you have the tools, which is just the equipment it needs to do its job, like getting access to a search engine or your calendar. Memory is crucial. That's how it remembers past conversations and what's going on. Audio and speech, well, that's its voice, how it communicates naturally. Then you have guardrails. Think of these like company policies that make sure it behaves properly. And finally, orchestration. This is like its performance management system, to monitor it and help it get better.
Okay, so that's the theory, right? The building blocks. But now let's see how these pieces actually come together to get something done. We're going to walk through a real-world example of an agent being born, so to speak, and actually completing a job from start to finish. So, every single agent action starts with a trigger. It has to be told what to do. In this example, a user just fills out a simple form. They're asking for a summary on this topic, vibe coding, and they're specific, only stuff from the past 6 months. That's it. That's the agent's assignment, nice and clear.
Okay, as soon as that assignment comes in, the agent's brain, the model, kicks into gear. It reads the request, it understands it, and it knows exactly what to do next. It grabs the right tool for the job, which in this case is a web search API, and it just starts digging through the internet looking for recent, relevant articles.
And this is where the magic really happens. See, the agent doesn't just give you a messy list of links. No, it actually reads and understands what it finds, and then it pulls it all together into a clean, concise summary. And for this one, it even takes an extra step. It converts that text into an audio file and then emails the whole package right to the user. Boom, job done.
And just check out the quality here. This is a little snippet of what the agent actually came up with. It's not just a bunch of random facts. It created a coherent summary, it cited its sources, it delivered something genuinely useful. Pretty cool, right?
Now, a lot of people would stop right here. I mean, the agent works. It did the job. But, and this is a big but, there is a huge difference between a simple little prototype and a truly reliable professional-grade agent. And that's exactly what we're getting into next.
So many tutorials online, they stop right here. They show you how to get that first result, and then they're done. But honestly, that's where the real work begins. There are 2 more components that make all the difference, that separate a fun little demo from a powerful agent you can actually depend on.
So think about it like this. A basic agent has the model, the tools, and the memory. Yeah, they can function. But a reliable agent, that adds 2 absolutely critical layers on top: guardrails and orchestration. These are the 2 things people almost always skip. And frankly, it's why so many of these DIY agents just don't work well in the real world.
So, what exactly are guardrails? The best way to think of them is like a safety net, or maybe like the company policy handbook. They're basically a set of rules that automatically check the agent's output before it ever gets to you. They're scanning for stuff like errors, inappropriate language, or anything else that's off-brand, just to make sure the agent always behaves professionally and safely.
And what about orchestration? Well, think of this as the agent's ongoing performance review. You can't just build an agent and then, let it run wild. That's a recipe for disaster. Orchestration is the whole system for deploying it, monitoring it, and constantly testing it.
It's how you measure what's working, find out what isn't, and actually make it better over time.
And there you have it. That's the whole shebang. 6 components. That is the complete recipe. You've got the model, tools, memory, audio, guardrails, and orchestration. From just a simple idea all the way to a reliable digital employee, these are all the ingredients you're ever going to need. So, if you take one thing away from all this, let it be this. Building a really good AI agent isn't just about what cool things it can do. It's about building a system so that it does its job reliably, safely, and professionally every single time. That right there is the difference between a toy and a real tool.
So, we've walked through the whole recipe, from start to finish. You now have the complete blueprint for building any AI agent you can imagine. The only real question left is, what job are you going to give your first digital employee?